Hey, welcome to the Knitting Samurai Enter Guys video podcast. This is episode 115. Miranda, oh Miranda. I'm your host Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram. Yeah, so let's get into it, shall we? So we have a knit along going on right now. It is for a short sleeve sweater cowl, and the pattern we're knitting is the Miranda by Josie Packlin. And for mine, I'm using Cascade 220 Heathers in the Lake Sheelan color on US size 6s and 8s, I believe. And I had an update to give to you earlier this week, so let me kick that in right here. I'm over here visiting with the cats. Oh look, I got crazy Sunday morning hair. Blake is the white one. He's right there. That's his back end. I'm at my parents' house. These are their cats. And I brought my knitting with me, and I thought I would share with you. There he is. Yeah, so there's Blake. Blake is a Devon Rex. That's the kind of cats we all have in my family. So they are curly-coated cats with thick hair. Well, he has thick hair. So they have curly coats, and they have these lovely big ears. Look, that he's very not happy with me right now. And Blake actually has beautiful blue eyes. So there's Blake, and Fred's over here smelling my coffee. I don't know if she'll make it onto camera or not. She's a little bit shyer, but she has beautiful colors. So there's Fred. Show off your face. Say hi. Hi, Fred. Hi. So pretty friendly cats. So it's 8 a.m. and I've already ripped back about 5 inches of sweater this morning. I lost the last 3 days because here, I thought I'd do like a mid progress and then you'll see later how much further I make it. But yeah, so here's my sweater post frogging. So I had done my bust dart increases, or whatever you call them. Here, let me get this ball out. Down the center on either side of this panel, and what it ended up doing was making the panel go in instead of what I wanted, which was the stitches going out and giving more space across my chest. So when I put it on, that looked funky. I did not, because reading directions is just not my thing apparently, so I did not, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep them on. You guys are going to have a glare. I did not reread before I started. Like, there's a set of increases and then there's a step 2 on the increases. I didn't reread the instructions before I started step 2. And for step 2, you don't increase on the sleeves anymore. I continued increasing on the sleeves. So when I was worried before that it was going to be a 14-inch circumference, I actually ended up with a 16-inch circumference for my 15-inch arm. So when I tried it on, a couple rows past the sleeve split, I tried it on and it was huge. Like this big puffy sleeve, and it just looks bad. The, I don't know if you saw that, she was just a little playful there. The raglan increases looked wonky a little bit, which I know I spaced them out correctly, but, so I decided that that part would be fixed with blocking, but that was just like 3 strikes against you. You know, even though this one could be fixed with blocking, the chest still looked funny. The sleeve was very baggy. And what's the point of knitting a sweater if I look back and I don't like things? So I made a mistake in my first set of cable crosses. And when I tried it on, it seems very obvious to me. And blocking might stretch those out. Might stretch it out so you don't see that looseness that I can see right there. Hopefully I can fix it with blocking. But when I tried it on, I thought, I noticed that like 4 rows past. Why didn't I just rip back and fix it? And as I'm standing there in the mirror looking at 16 rows, an entire chart of the cable pattern, as I'm looking at it, and that section was where I had worked the increases. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, it just doesn't look right, and I don't think it's gonna get fixed. I gotta rip this out. Like, I want a sweater I want to wear. I don't want a sweater that I'm going to wear and be like, oh, it looks a little bit handmade and I'm uncomfortable. You know that feeling? I don't want that. I want a sweater that I am super proud of, and let's do it. So, ripping back. Yeah, so I had started on my 3rd skein. I ripped back this entire amount of my 2nd skein, and probably a third of my, so, do you feel my pain? Because I know you do. Steve got up. I had gotten up with the boys and they were playing and I was frogging and trying not to cry, and he got up and I'm like, oh my God, and I'm just gushing at him about all these details. And of course he's not a knitter, he doesn't really feel my pain, so hopefully you feel it. You feel sorry for me, you understand where I'm coming from. And yeah, that's it. That's all I brought over here because that's all I've been knitting on for several days. I got a haircut yesterday. Yeah, this is bad head right now, but I can still tie it in a ponytail, so that's great. Yeah. I'm gonna send out into the world this. Oh my. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the show. Bye. So after that, I decided that I didn't want 51-inch chest. I wanted just 1 inch of positive ease, so that would be 49-inch. So I did 4 stitches, increased the 4 stitches at the underarm, and what else did I do? I did my increases along the armhole, was the alternate construction I came up with. And I'm not sure if you call them bust darts, since the increases I did at the armholes, and then I decided that after splitting off for the arms, I would take the decreases down on the side seam, so they're not running down the center front panels. We'll see. I may completely regret it. As you can see, the sweater is completely bunched up on my needles. I haven't split off, or I haven't tried it on since splitting off for the armholes, because I'm just sticking my fingers in my ears and going, oh, I don't want to know, I just want to be done. And I think that a setback at this point, I would just be done with the sweater. So I might as well just keep knitting, keep knitting, keep knitting. So there's how it looks so far. I got about 4 inches past the armhole, so you can see that there are cables on this every 3 inches or so. There's a cable twist. And I did this one, no problem. No, I did this one, and then I got to here and said, looking back up to this one above it, 2 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cables, 2 of them are crossed the opposite way. And I knit another round, and I tried to let it go, and I tried to be zen, and you know, it doesn't matter. But then the more I looked at it and thought about it, I realized that those would be on my bust, and I would be looking at them all the time. And likely, miscrossed cables would drive me crazy looking down on my chest and seeing that. There's a lot of bulk up here right now. So I dropped down the 8 stitches, 18 rows, recrossed them, and then went back up. And it took me about 45 minutes to do that. So in the long run, yeah, that was 45 minutes of lost knitting time, but at the same time, I'm much happier having it the same. OCD, I can't help it. So we are tagging our projects with hashtag Miranda 2015 KAL over on Instagram and Ravelry if you want to check out the project so far and see what everybody else is doing. At this point, I have, I'm digging, sorry, not interesting for you, this much left of my 3rd skein. So I am almost done with that. I am about 6 inches from the armhole, I'd say, give or take. A generous 6 inches. I'm really looking forward to the pocket construction. So at this point, it's getting kind of big to be a travel around project, which means my progress is gonna slow to a crawl. But at the same time, having it switch to stockinette when you're doing the portion that's behind the pocket, right? So the pocket is knit as a separate piece, and so why cable behind the pocket? So that portion, just round and around and around in stockinette for 30 plus rows is gonna be awesome. I mean, it'll be boring, but at the same time, it'll be easier. Not that this is hard by any means whatsoever. I'm really enjoying it, but I also find it difficult to understand what she's trying to communicate in the pattern. So there have been at least 4 different points where I've done something and then, okay, that's done. And then I go to read the next section and it's like, while doing this, there was, I feel like this pattern would benefit a lot from at the same times or read ahead or, you know, just even a statement of, at this point you're going to be doing this, and at the same time, doing this other thing. I don't want to give anything away, but you know, you're going to work the chart for 14 rows, and at the same time you're going to be doing some decreases. So read the next two sections versus you do the chart and then you're like, oh, I missed a step. So not really liking the way the pattern's written, to be honest. To each their own. Some people are fine. I know that the Fat Squirrel has highly recommended this pattern. She loves it. She's knit a couple, so maybe it's me, but I'm having a hard time with it. So if you are too, you are not alone. But I think after having read the pattern all the way through at least 5 times now, I think I can envision what the next steps are and what's happening, where the pattern is going. It should not be that complicated, but for some reason it is to me. And yeah, so I think I'm good. I don't think there should be any more mistakes. Touch and go though. So there's my Miranda. A whole lot of heartache. It's gotten a ton of knitting time. It's been my main focus for sure. And we did have a glorious snow day. Well, it wasn't a snow day, it was a blizzard. I think they said 24 inches of snow. It was a lot of snow, and it was insane. Like, you'd look out the window and then you'd look out an hour later and there'd be 2 more inches, 3 more inches of snow. So if we were Instagram friends, you saw me posting pictures of our snowman Jack in the backyard as he slowly drowned in snow, basically. So Jack, it was Roland's height. A little shorter, but right now he is completely buried in snow. Completely. Like, there's a little bit, like, that much of snow piled over the top of his hat. So it was fun to watch. I'm not feeling very animated. Are you noticing this? Do you watch your podcast at double speed? I wonder how many people do that. I watch all my podcasts on my phone or on my iPad through iTunes, and I watch them at double speed. And Steve is just like, how do you understand that? And for some reason, I find it captures my attention more when I'm focused on what's going on. I actually just have talking left to do. So these are my first pair of completed socks for 2015. These are the socks I knit while my parents were traveling. So this is Patton's Croy in the Brimble Stripes 55015 colorway, knit on US Zeros 2.0 millimeter needles. Yes, a sport weight yarn on Zeros is completely crazy. They are the densest socks I've ever knit. Yeah, I knit these for my mom. I cast them on, I think, the day or the day after they left, and I bound them off yesterday at lunchtime, and I think it was 2 or 3 p.m. My mom texted me and said, okay, we're home. So I technically finished them while they were gone. So I just have these 2 little tiny balls left. So they're definitely not tall socks, if you look at them, but I do love that color. So I can't wait to knit a barn raising quilt square with this. I actually bought a 3rd skein. I think I told you this already, just because I want to make sure I get the 3 shades of green, and the bits that I have left are the white and gray, and that's it. So and I wanted her to have 3 stripes of the green on her socks, because that's why I picked out the yarn, was for her and the green. So these are done. Yay! First completed pair in 2015. I was getting close to the end on those, and I wanted to cast on some Valentine's Day socks. I was really excited about that. So I don't know who I was watching. Yes, I do. Wait, let me think about it. She collects all the zombie colors. Diane. I think it's Diane of Suburban Stitcher. I was watching her, and she was talking about Desert Vista Dye Works. And I've had a few skeins. I don't have any of their yarn in my stash. And I thought, oh, let me go look at their website for Valentine stripe yarn. I did not read that their lead time is 5 weeks. And so I ordered some mid-January, and now it's January 30th. And I looked at the calendar the other day, and I was like, really, that should have arrived? And so then I went and looked on their website. No, 5 weeks. So I won't have my Valentine's yarn to knit Valentine's socks until after Valentine's Day. So that more than likely will be for next year, and it's kind of disappointing for me. But I went to the Opal stash, and I pulled out some and got some votes, and I think I'm going to cast on a pair of like purple pink socks, because that was by far the winner of what people liked. for a Valentine's Day themed sock. So that's next on my needles. And also, I have to share this with you. So I got this really cute card from Chrissy, alpacas with a bow. I'm not sure if she made it or not. It's really adorable. But so Chrissy the Great of Snappy Stitches podcast was frogging this shawl because she didn't like the way the green seeped into the whatever color this is. I don't know, beige color, gray color, and it did. And I could see it. Steve and I were looking at it last night going, oh yeah, I can see it. But for as monumental of a knitting project as this cameo shawl is, that I have wanted to knit this, but have looked at it and known that the amount of time to go into this, I just don't have, right? When I heard her say she was going to prog it, I was like, oh, no, I'll take it. That little bit of color running will not bother me. So Chrissy sent it to me graciously, and it's just now mine. So this is the cameo shawl in Mad Tosh. Oh, I think maybe she told me the colors. I think maybe she did. In Manner and the Calligraphy colorway are the two colors of it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I'm so happy to have it. So happy to have it. But right now, I'm really warm, so I'm not going to wear it. But it is gorgeous, and I've been loving it for the week or so that I've had it. So the day it came, it was craziness at my house. And so I knew what the package was. I could see her name on the return address, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna wait. This is not a good time for me to fully enjoy and indulge in the beautifulness of the shawl. I'm gonna wait and open it tomorrow. So it was kind of nice. It was, I mean, I knew it was coming, but then it came, and then it was like, ooh, let's hold off the gratification just one more day. So it was exciting for me. So happy to have that. And yeah, awkward transition here. So it's coming up on February. I don't know if you watch the Knitting Blooms podcast, but she's doing a finish or frog it February, which is perfect for someone like me who's trying to get down their whips. So I have 4 projects that I'm thinking I need to pull out and include them in this, and one of them is the Caution knits, the second pair. So Abby, I gave the first pair to Abby, and she wore them a few times, and they didn't fit her well. Like, I blocked them hard, but because they were biased, it was the one maybe you'll remember. The pattern is knit on the bias. It's a fingerless mitt. They didn't hold their block. Maybe her hands were too small for the mitts. I'm not sure. So I'm on the fence about whether I'll knit that project again or not. But I think I have knit 20 stitches into it, a new one. And so I'm thinking that's just a frog it. Get rid of that. The potty socks. So if you recall, when Roland was first potty training, we spent a lot of time hanging out in the bathroom upstairs. I was working, I kept a project just in the bathroom for that time. Or maybe it was for during tub. I don't know, either way, I picked it up and put it away. So I need to take those out and finish them off the needles, because there's no reason to just have them hanging around. I don't do that part anymore. Usually I'm busy putting Tristan to bed, and Steve does Roland tubs, and Roland goes to the potty all on his own now, so it's not a thing. It's not a thing anymore. I don't need potty socks. The Province cardigan is the light yellow baby sweater. I have knit on it and stopped 3 times now. Like, it's an 18-month size sweater. There is no reason why I have not finished the sweater. I worked on it during maternity leave, thinking maybe for Tristan. No. Some other friends have had children since. I've thought for them, no. I just need to either finish it or frog it. I have the back panel, a front panel, and half of the other front. So 2 sleeves and a half a front. Come on, that's not a lot of knitting. And that's in Barocco Vintage, so it's worth the wait. Should go fast. I also have the Vodka Gimlet, which is in Lady Man Fiber Arts Dramaturg. I bought this. I was the first person to buy a sweater's worth of yarn from them. So when they first opened, I was so excited. I cast on, I brought it to Rhinebeck. I remember all these details about it, but then I set it aside. So I need to take it out, measure the chest, decide if it's a go or not. I believe I've split off, or I'm really about to split off the armholes at the top down. I need to make a decision there and get rid of it. Of the 30 so projects, whips that I have, the sweaters, or hibernating whips, the sweaters are going to be the hardest for me to finish or frog. So I really need to be just brutal, committed, and tough, I guess, tough love on myself and on those sweaters, and because they're not doing anyone any good half knit in a bag. So either finish them or get them out, because I'm gonna wear them or I'm not. They're gonna fit or they're not. And I have a tendency to knit sweaters that are either borderline too small or extremely huge. So I need to decide if these are gonna be extremely huge or if they're gonna work. So that's that. I also have, oh, there's one more, the Grace. So that is a green sweater. It's by Jane Richmond. Another one I need to try on. I knit like, I want to say 40% of that sweater in 2 days. Like we had 2 snow days and Roland was at daycare or something. I don't remember why. I remember watching Argo while working on it. I love that movie, by the way. Very good Ben Affleck movie. Like very good movie on its own, but also Ben Affleck is in it. And that Ada guy. Anyways, I really liked him. And what's his name? John Goodman's also in it. Okay, focus, Mishu. The Grace. Yes. So I knit an amazing amount on that sweater. I believe I adjusted, like it's a fingering weight, and I was doing it with worsted, and it has a lace pattern on it, and I was 1 stitch off the entire time, so my lace pattern looks completely different, but it still looks pretty. Like, yeah, so not sure. I think I got it so far, and then I was like, I don't have enough for the sleeves, so I decided to knit the sleeves. It's craziness. I'm pretty sure that one's gonna get frogs, so I need to just jump on it and get that done. So if I can get deal with those 2 sweaters, I would consider it a successful February. So that's my goal. The Easy Shawl is driving me insane. So that's a pattern by Martina Bem. I believe it's a recent release. It's a shawl designed for gradient yarn. So you knit one direction and then you knit the other direction, and the gradients do some cool stuff. And then where you wrap them in the front, it has this interesting intersection of color. And I really want that. And so the done roving that I bought last week, the Frolicking Feet, the one in the little plastic container, is sitting on my coffee table, and I won't let myself put it away. And I've got the pattern printed out, and I'm like, I have to finish the Miranda so that I can do that. I'm not letting myself cast it on, and it's taking a lot of willpower not to cast that baby on. So knitting magically appeared in my hands. I don't even know. So as I was saying, the done roving is just driving me crazy, looking at me from the coffee table next to the pattern for the Easy Shawl by Martina Bem, and I'm just dying to cast it on. And I will. I definitely will very soon as the sweater is off my needles. And you know, standard length is like 15 inches for me down to the side, to the hem. And I'm at 6, so I'm cruising right along. I just split off, it was Sunday I was working on splitting the armholes, so I know I had a snow day, so that made it seem even faster. But it's Friday now, and I've got 6 inches in, so theoretically next Friday I could be done the body, right? We'll see. No more negative knitting on this sweater. I have been knitting on it and watching Falling Skies. So that's with Noah Wiley. I really, really like that show. I know my sci-fi flag is waving right now, but I do. I really enjoy it. It's like a race in our house, right? Tristan goes down a little bit before Roland. Okay, Roland's in bed. All right, he's done pottying. He's settled. He's gonna sleep now. Okay, we're good. And then we're both like racing for the couch. I'm grabbing my iPad. He's grabbing his video game. It's like, quick, before we fall asleep, let's get some time in. So I've been watching 2 to 3 episodes a night, and he's playing a video game. Steve is playing a game next to me, but he definitely knows what's going on in the TV show and is like, wait, what's happening? Yeah. It's like the corner of his eye. He's aware. So I'm actually kind of feeling sad because I'm almost done season 2. And that means, it only goes to 4 seasons, so we'll see what'll happen, but I do very much enjoy that show so far. And that takes me to Mission 2015. I'm rather proud of my little segment there. Yeah, I'm going to admit it. I'm proud. I had to use the software I like to use is in a fight with my computer, and it has been for a while. And I finally just said, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to use different software because so I couldn't do all the things I would have done with my favorite software, but I got quite a bit in there. So, and also that's why the intros and exits are not changing frequently, because I don't have that access to that good software that I was using. So I'm kind of setting it and letting it go, sort of, for a while anyways, at least till it's completely obsolete, because Tristan is a hairy, toothy, crawling little guy. So I'll tell you, I went down to visit, or was I picking him up? Doesn't matter. I was down in the daycare, and Theo is the other boy that's the same birthday as Tristan. They're in the same classroom together. And apparently the two of them were sitting at the little kiddie table eating their snack. So, you know, I mean, for Tristan, that's probably puffs and yogurt, or baby food, fruit and cereal. Not sure what Theo's eating. I would assume it's something similar. But while the two of them were sitting at the table, Tristan was laughing and yelling and just, you know, his very jovial self. And apparently it was making poor Theo cry. And I just had to laugh, because I know Theo's an only child, and Tristan is just, he is a happy boy, but he is growing up with a very loud big brother and a very also loud, I wonder where they get it, mother. Steve isn't very loud, but between Roland and I, to be heard, Tristan needs to make a lot of noise, and so I think he does that, but in a happy way, not in a like everybody's ignoring me, just in a like, oh, I'm used to talking at this volume. So his teacher and I were laughing, and it's like, you know, he does these happy cooey noises, and Theo just doesn't. But teach his own, right? Right? He smiles too, but he's just on every child is different. I need to stop talking, because that could be insulting, and not that I think his mom watches, but you know, no two children are the same, even if they're both massive boys born on the same day. I actually think Theo might be a little bit beefier than Tristan at this point, but I can't even imagine anyone being beefier than Tristan. I pulled out some 18-month size clothes. My yarn is wrapped around my stitch marker in a very awkward way. There we go. Some 18-month size clothes that I had from Roland, and put them on Tris, and like he wore them once, and they're getting put away, or not put away, they're getting sent to Goodwill, but they're too small. Just like, it blows my mind. He is 7 months and 3 weeks old. He's almost 8 months old, and size 18 months just doesn't cut it for him. So I need to stop knitting right here, because I am on a cable. So I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, cable has been successfully worked. And now back from my long tangent to my mission 2015. So here's the update. The first one, 12 pairs, so I finished the Harvey socks, so that's 1 out of 12 done. Woohoo! 3 years to build a barn raising quilt. Haven't done any squares, but I'm itching to put that on the same list as the easy shawl. Like, I want to do that green in a barn square, so I may allow myself to cheat on the Miranda and do that. So 2 sweaters for me, well on my way to having 1 done anyways with this one. Run back Thanksgiving, Christmas sweaters for the boys. It's still too early, to be honest, for me to really be thinking about that, but I'm sure after knitting an adult size sweater, I'm going to be like, okay, that'll be a nice break to knit a kid size sweater. So nothing there. End with less than 2014 ended with. Stash, here's the part that's hard for me. But if you don't talk about it, it doesn't get fixed, right? So I had 164 miles at the end of 2014, and I currently have 165.8 miles. But once this is done, that'll take out a bunch, right? So I have but I did make a trip to the yarn store, as I told you last time, and that did add to the stash. But I also let go of a yarn club, so that should help just slow down the accumulation process. So, and then whips, I had 29 projects, both active and hibernating, and I was shooting to get down to 15 for the end of the year. I'm currently at 32 projects, so I've added a few more. I have 6 active whips and 26 hibernating. So by the end of February, I should be in a better spot with that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I believe that is, and look, that's all I have left of this game. Enough said for me this week. I hope you are enjoying what's going on in your knitting world. Watching Downton Abbey. I haven't. I have the DVD set, so my mom gets it every year for Christmas, and then she shares it with me. So it just arrived in the mail, so maybe we'll do that together now that she's home. I bet she would love that, to sit and watch it together. A good daughter would do that. I'm a good daughter. I knit her socks. Of course I'm a good daughter. So I hope you have a great 10 days or so until I see you again during the middle of Finish It or Frog It February, and Miranda sweater knitting. That cal is running until February 28th. So if you haven't cast on a short sleeve sweater, like an Irish Coffee or a Miranda, and you want to join us, please do. Please, please do. I love the discussion over on the Ravelry thread. So come over and at least stalk it, read what everybody has to say about the pattern. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.